All right, so SEO agencies don't want you to know this, but the best move to get on page one of Google isn't what they're charging you 3 to 4 thousand bucks a month for. So I'm going to give you the best move to get on page one of Google that most SEO agencies ignore because let's face it, showing up at the top of Google search isn't just important, it's essential for your clinic. But all right, here's the kicker. Most SEO strategies completely miss the mark for local businesses like yours. Again, SEO strategies will happily take 3 to 4 thousand bucks a month to quote unquote optimize your site, but how much of that actually drives local patients through the door? Getting a ton of search volume is great, but that doesn't mean a thing if your search volume isn't coming from actual local searches. So, what is the best kept secret to showing up on page one? The answer to that is Google reviews. It's the one thing that SEO agencies rarely focus on, but it's an absolute game changer for local SEO. The more reviews you have, the better you rank, the more patients you get. It really is that simple. And today, in this episode, I'm going to break down exactly how to get those reviews and really make them work for your clinic. So, if you're running a clinic and you're not focused on getting Google reviews, you've got to. There's just no other option for this. And, I hear all the time that, pushing Google reviews is part of my quarterly plan, but, people, they don't have time to reach out to their current or past patients, or, this is part of their quarterly plan, but, they realize that they have bigger things to do. In the last episode, I talked about running a quarterly plan and creating a quarterly plan and how shiny object syndrome happens. This is exactly what I'm talking about here. Getting Google reviews as part of your quarterly plan, you need to actually do it. There's not bigger things out there that you need to focus on because seriously, like Google reviews is one of the most important things that your clinic needs, especially true. This is especially true for local service businesses, which we have to remember we are. So we can't take like traditional SEO advice because traditional SEO advice is just trying to get as much website traffic as possible. And for our clinics, we need to get as much traffic as possible, but we need to get it locally. Unless you have a virtual offer, then it really doesn't matter if you're getting a ton of search volume because it just needs to be on the local side of things. So if you've thought about your SEO strategy and if you want to show up on page one or you want your map listing to show up above every other clinic out there whenever somebody searches for, physical therapist Boston or whatever city you're in, this is going to be the podcast for you. I'm going to teach you guys how to actually get Google reviews. I just checked in Ripple, my old physical therapy clinic. They've got 185 Google reviews right now. And inside of Patch, we've helped dozens of other clinics generate tons of reviews. So I have a ton of experience, getting Google reviews and, implementing different strategies. So I know what works super well and I know what doesn't work well and doesn't really move the needle to getting Google reviews. So if you've been stuck and you feel bad always reaching out to your patients to give you a Google review and you feel annoying, I'm going to give you three different strategies here in order to generate a bunch of Google reviews. And this is again the best way to show up on page one for Google. So enough of me preaching about this. Let's dive into the first way to get more Google reviews. And to be honest with you, I think, this first strategy, I think it's the best one. And I think this is the most fun one too, to be totally honest with you. This is something that we ran at Ripple, and I believe it drove anywhere from 70 to 80 reviews for us. So here's what I did. At the beginning of quarter two, this was 1 or 2 years ago, during one of our staff meetings, what I did is I taped a $500 check to the fridge in our staff room. And during that staff meeting, I told the team that whoever gets the most Google reviews throughout the quarter with their name on it will get that $500 check. Obviously the team was stoked. And this little challenge and this $500 that I spent, it went way better than I ever could have thought. So, to be honest, when I rolled this out, so this is the beginning of quarter two. So this is, April when we're running this. So it's basically April, May, and June. It started off pretty slow because the team knew like, oh, I've got 3 months to do this. So there was like an initial push where, they're reaching out to family and friends and past patients and current patients and really anybody that was coming in. So, we got a handful right off the bat. May things slowed down a little bit, but when June hit, the games were on, and I think like what I did is I made sure that I reminded the team during each staff meeting as well, like, hey, just so you guys know, we're still running this challenge here for all the Google reviews. Make sure that you're getting it. Again, I think like the symbolic nature of taping that check to the fridge as well. So every time somebody walked in, got something out of the fridge, they saw that check and it reminded them to reach out to more people for the reviews. But like a marketing campaign, what ended up happening here is the scarcity piece of the quarter ending. It started to build a little bit of competition between the staff, and probably from the beginning middle of June to the end of June, the end of that quarter, we ended up pushing like a majority of the reviews from there because we had three staff members at the time. So, one of my staff members would see the other staff member, got 4 or 5 people to leave a review. So then they went and reached out to their patients and they got 5 or 6 reviews. And that really just started to compound on each other. And, outside of getting a ton of reviews, this is a really fun way to build culture and get everybody on board. I remember our Slack channel was popping off with, everybody just like comparing the number of total reviews that we had. We had a big reveal in our July team meeting. It was super, super fun. And like I said, it generated, I think 80 reviews is what we ended up getting out of it. Probably more than that. I could go back and actually look, but it was a bunch. It was way more than what we had. Um, and again, like why this is important, and oddly enough, when quarter three rolled around, we had so many more people finding us online and just organically finding our website, and we started to take over that first spot in Boston physical therapy on the organic search side. Our ads started working way better. People that I would get on a discovery call with would be like, well, you've got the most reviews out of any physical therapy clinic, so you guys must be good. It really, obviously, like I said, we're talking about SEO here. It improves SEO. But what it also does is just builds a little bit of trust with the clinic, and a potential patient sees that you have a ton of reviews. The odds of them moving forward is going to be way higher. So, again, if you want to build culture, you want to have a fun team challenge, and you want to generate anywhere from 50 to 100 reviews, this is the way. And $500 might sound like a lot just on its own, but again, most SEO companies charge $3,000 to $4,000, and they will never get that amount of reviews for you. To pay for backlinks cost $400 to $500 a backlink. For any of these other SEO strategies that don't work as well as Google reviews, you're going to be paying way more than $500. And I'd much rather give the $500 to a staff member than to some SEO agency out there. So that's my first strategy to build more Google reviews. Again, I think is the funnest way to do it. Really, beefs up team culture. It's just a super exciting thing to do. The second strategy for getting more Google reviews is going to be through an email drip. For all new patients that are coming in, they should be enrolled in 2 different automations. One of those automations should be an NPS score survey, where if a patient leaves a score of greater than 9 out of 10, they'll automatically get kicked to your Google review page to leave a review. The other is through a new patient email drip that will ask for a Google review 3 to 4 weeks after they come in and they're in their plan of care. In both situations, the patient should be super happy with their service, and they're way more likely to leave a review. And I think the best part about this strategy here, these 2 email drips, is if you have a solid CRM, Both of these things should be automated. This should be nothing to do on your end. There's no extra effort happening here. The CRM will put this as, just a set and forget reminder for new patients to leave you a Google review. So it should automatically follow up with people that don't leave a review as well. So you can set that up inside of your CRM where if somebody doesn't fill out the NPS survey, or if they don't leave a Google review, they're going to continue to get followed up with. Obviously, you or the staff PT that is seeing this patient, the manual reach out there is going to work better because it's a little bit more personal. But if you can combine these automated messages with a personal reach out, that's how you're going to get a patient to leave a review. So, we build this out for all of our Patch clients. So it works super, super well. And, at Ripple, we'd get 2 or 3 reviews on autopilot every month. And if you think about that over, 2, 3, 5, 10 years, like that adds up over time. And again, it's a free way to build trust, to improve your domain authority, to increase your SEO. And again, it's just totally automated. I think the NPS survey side of things is often overlooked too. Aside from being a good in a more targeted way to get Google reviews, it's super good to just have this data. If you are able to understand like, what is your patient experience for all of your staff members as well, it's a really good way for you to understand, are people enjoying working with your staff members? Obviously, as a clinic owner, it's very hard to see and know, like, are people getting a good experience with all of your staff members, especially as you're growing and scaling. Having these NPS surveys are super important. And again, it's just a really good way to evaluate staff. And to what we're talking about today, if somebody does leave you a good review on your NPS survey, and again, like, kind of drilling down even a little bit more, an NPS survey, basically what that is going to be maybe 5 or 6 questions where it's just asking the patient about their experience at your clinic. So are they having, a pleasant experience with the staff member they're working with? Are they feeling better? What is the level of service they're getting? Is the clinic clean? Things like that. So most of these people should be leaving you a 9 out of 10 because I think that's what most PT clinics do, especially the cash-based PTs. Our product is just so superior to anything out there. So if you get 10 new patients that come in each month, 5 of those people fill out the NPS survey, they all leave you a 9 out of 10, and all of those people get redirected to your Google review page afterwards. Hopefully that's 5 reviews that you're going to be getting. And again, that's just on autopilot. Those people are super teed up and they're ready to leave you a review. So this is a very easy way to build those reviews over time. And to be honest, it actually works. Just hounding people to leave a review. It always feels awkward to follow up with somebody, say, hey, can you leave us a review? This is just a really easy way. It's an automated way to do this. And the repetition of follow-up there is what gets them to actually move forward. So that's going to be the second way to get more Google reviews to help increase your SEO. The third strategy is going to be an email marketing campaign. This is actually something that we started testing out inside of Patch with some of our clients inside of Patch, and it's worked way better than I ever thought it could. So this is, like I said, what's one of the most effective marketing campaigns that we run at Patch. This email marketing campaign has generated 40, 50, even one clinic got 70 Google reviews from a simple 6 email drip. I think a lot of clinics will send like soft follow-ups to clients asking for a review. I don't want to sound annoying, blah, blah, blah. That stuff never works. But what this email drip does is it entices your community to get involved and actually leave a Google review. And I think this is something that you should do on a yearly basis. What is this email drip? To be honest, it's pretty simple. The basic concept of this email drip is you find something to raffle off. So we've had clinics in the past, they've raffled off a Theragun or a $100-$200 gift card to Lululemon. Maybe they're raffling off some clinic swag. There's a cryotherapy clinic in the area that they have a gift card to, something along those lines, just to, again, we're trying to entice people to leave a Google review. We're trying to get them to move forward. So you're raffling something off. Ideally, it's you have one big prize. We had somebody actually, they raffled off NBA tickets, which is badass. Like, how awesome is that? And that probably cost them maybe $100 to get to like NBA tickets, right? So it's really smart idea. And if you think about it, the paying $500 to your staff members or $100 for NBA tickets, that price point is very small compared to what an SEO agency will charge you to get on page one. So these things, I think that's how you have to look at this as an investment and not a cost. But anyways, you're raffling something off there, and what you're doing is you're creating a contest over 5 or 6 emails, and these emails are going to include, basically like what this raffle is, how to enter the raffle, and then kind of the emails as they drip out. You're talking about, why leaving a review for the clinic is so important. You're obviously talking about like, hey, listen, like we're a small clinic, we're locally based, we don't have a $100,000 marketing budget every single month. So, we really, want to serve the community. This is one of the best ways that we can serve the community and we can get in front of more people is by you leaving a Google review. I think one of the best emails that we put together in this drip as well is talking about like, hey, if you leave a Google review and you talk about the experience of thinking that you will never be able to get out of back pain, finding us, getting out of back pain, getting back to being able to go on long bike rides or back to running or whatever it might be, there might be somebody out there in the community that's dealing with the exact same thing that you are. They're going to read your review, they're going to resonate with it, they're going to put themselves in your shoes, and they're going to want to be that success story. So, like, if you can leave that review for a future person that can come in and is going to get the help that you found. Like, how awesome is that? And we really like lean into that emotional side during the emails that we create, and man, it worked super super well. So the combination of raffling something badass off plus tapping into like why they should leave a review, it's a really successful way to get these. And basically how the contest works is every review somebody leaves, that's one entry into this raffle that they're doing. And again, it just works really, really well. So we write what we do inside of Patch is we create the email drip. We give the clinics a little bit of direction on like what they should be posting on social media too, because there's probably people on social that want in on the raffle. And like I said, this has been super successful with us. Just another really easy way to knock off 50, 60 Google reviews and just get the community involved. It's a really easy way to email market, nurture your list, warm your list up a little bit more for some future sales that you may be running. So again, here's the 3 things that you can do. You can run an internal staff contest to drive as many Google reviews as the staff can. You can use a CRM to automate the ask for Google reviews through an NPS survey and a new patient email drip. And the third thing is you can run an email drip contest. You can raffle something off. Every entry to that raffle is from a Google review. So if you leave a Google review, you get one entry into the contest. These 3 things all work super well. These are something that you should do on a yearly basis. The CRM side of things should be in place for you at all times. That should be automated. The staff in the email drip contest, those things, I think, again, you should be doing those once a year. Really easy ways to just continue driving as many Google reviews as possible. So I want to leave you with this. We're talking about SEO, we're talking about getting on the first page of Google, and Google reviews being one of the number one ways to get onto page one and to get your local listing to show up at the top on the map search. This is 100% true, but you cannot forget about everything else. You can't forget about the technical SEO side of your website. So even if you have 500 Google reviews, but the backend technical side of your website sucks, then you're not going to get on page one. So you need to have both. If you only have 3 pages on your website and you're not writing blogs and you're not doing a pillar and cluster blog strategy, then you're not going to show up on page one. So, everything needs to be dialed in. We've just seen that getting a ton of Google reviews moves the needle way more than anything else. But again, you have to be doing all of these things. So, if you need help on any of this stuff, if you want to chat through any of it, this is exactly what our SEO offering does at Patch. Feel free to book a demo call with me. I'm happy to walk through any of that stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to follow me on Instagram at _ Jeremy Dupont. I'm happy to chat through any of this stuff, and check us out on thepatchsystem.com. As always, appreciate you guys listening, and I will talk to you in the next episode.